Voices rise with the engine fire. Every replay, every stand-up fight, melted together on race night. Every night that the legends lead, all the underdog, every winning streak. From all-time heroes to the final line, we hold on till the end of the fight. When the string goes down, the echoes remain. Another chapter written in speed and fame. If you live for the more than the racing truth, learn to all grip that word. That's you. Sign of faith, but the passion stays. Another race in the broadcast haze till the lights go green and the mics ignite. Learn to all grip that word. Grips the night.
Streaming cyberspace into your place from South Boston Speedway. YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, introduces 2009 to the now with the running of the YesterYear King of the Modifieds. It's the second round on the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series 2026 schedule. And you can witness all the green to checkered action live that happens right here on the Virtual Grip Network. After a brawl of a race at Concord Speedway a week ago, the chase for the old red boot, one of the most unique trophies among any league on the iRacing platform, continues tonight. And the question most asked is, how will the drivers come out of South Boston, given that tonight's race will be the first time this season racing under the lights? In the 2025 season, the YesterYear Tour Modified visits Sobo not once, not twice, but 3 times, and each race was won by a different winner. Brian Bianchi won a 150-lap event held March 25th, 2025. Scott Negus, well, how about a 267-lap winner on June 3rd? And on a September 2nd, 2025, Tom Ogle won a 300-lap event. Pull the lever on the Lazy Boy, because this will be the only time the series visits Sobo this season, and you're lucky you didn't miss it. A warm Old Dominion hello and welcome on this Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. The institution, J.R. Shepard, joins yours truly, Bill Soupson. Hi to the VGM press box for being our words eye view. Replay, Ryan Seneker, turn the knobs, pushing the sliders. Partner, what do you know about this place, these cars?
Soup, tonight is going to be a real challenge for these drivers. This place, it's only 0.4 of a mile in length, but the majority of your time will be spent in the corners. That alone can be fatiguing to these drivers, but more importantly, tonight's race will be mentally exhausting. It is so easy to make a mistake around this place, and if you do, that driver behind you is going to be there to pounce. These Tour Modifieds, they tend to get a little bit loose on corner entry. They have a slight push through the center, and then they want to snap loose again as you apply that throttle on exit. So contact while racing side by side is very likely tonight. But Soup, this place can also get very narrow, especially on the straights. If we see that contact that I just spoke about while these drivers are exiting one of these corners, it might just collect and end a lot of the drivers' nights out there, because this place collects cars quickly. This is a place that is unforgiving if an accident occurs anywhere near you. We saw this in races here last season, so I know it will be on these drivers' minds again here tonight.
My partner says a lot of drivers waiting for somebody to make a mistake, but you haven't made a mistake because you're watching VGN. You know, the YesterYear Tour Modifieds is the flagship racing series sanctioned by the YesterYear Racing League. This year, 2026 schedule will be a rerunning of the 2009 Whelen Southern Modified Tour. Each race is set up based on the actual race history. Track, weather, rules, point system, length, starting time, all identical to the events that took place some 17 years ago. Tonight's race is based on the 150-lap event run Saturday, April 12th, 2009 at South Boston Speedway. There were 16 cars on the grid that night. Not a whole lot is known about the race, but in a strange coincidence, yours truly was actually there that night. You see, for several weeks prior, I was being held prisoner by a band of crazed carnies who were forcing me to work maintenance on their prized ride, the merry-go-round. I escaped by blending into the crowd, where I watched on lap 87 Hampstead, New Jersey driver Andy Seuss take over the lead and hold it all the way to get the race win. And speaking of winning, let's take a look at the points. Now, with only one race in the books, you'll see that the guy on top, that is, well, Eric Stout winning. He's the guy who won last week. James Lowe, those are the two favorites we think that are going to fight it out. But watch out, because all week long in several races here on VGN, the guy who has been hot has been Kid Lemon Lime. Watch out for Luke Logan Allen. He has been really good. You see the rest of the drivers rounded out your top 10. We'll get into more of those as the season progresses. It should be a good one. With right now qualifying going on, my partner says it's very important to get a good starting position. Take a look here. How many drivers were able to put in a qualifying time? Well, all but 3. Series organized Alan Wanamaker did not. Double Deuce Bruce Pearson missed it, and the Racing Rev, Chris Lipper, not able to put in a time. I think the rest did. Who's going to be starting up front? Well, we'll give it to you as soon as I get the okay to do so. Let's go ahead and do it. I'll take the front row. My partner will get the even numbers. Here we go. Well, we talked about Luke Logan Allen. He's going to be starting outside of row 1. Inside of him, opening round winner, Teapot, Eric Stout.
All right, rolling off in third place, we got A.J. Hamill. Rolling off in fourth, our second place finisher last week, James Lowe.
Roger Hurley will be going in fifth. Papa Kenny Allen, Luke's dad, will be starting in sixth.
Rolling off inside row 4, we got Jerry Isaacs on the outside, and 26 cars, Lloyd Moore.
Oh, some VGN veterans in the fifth row. Brian Bianchi and Todd Liston.
Rolling off in 11th place tonight, we got Scott Negus outside in 12th, Todd Cousins.
In the Baker spot, Baker Douglas spot, they call him Mr. Aggressive. He is Chris Davis. Outside of him, the whirlwind, Chris Worrell.
Inside row 8, we got the 37 car of Eric Essewery, and on the outside in 16th place, Rory Collins.
His wife, Brandy, watching on from Bakersfield, California, dipping the apples into the candy. It's Jeffrey Harden. Torrance Child starting in 18th.
Rolling off in 19th, we got Glenn Jameson, and on the outside in 20th will be Tom Hilbert.
With an ace and a face guard, it's Robert Let's Go Garasco. In the double duck spot, Jeff Lemire.
Inside row 12, an exciting car to watch will be Brian Neff try to come through the field, and on the outside in 24th, Brian Johnson.
And these final 3 drivers will get no love from Soup for working their way through the field, because you do not get credit for climbing through the field if you don't put in a qualifying time. And I'm talking directly to Alan Wanamaker, Chris Hazlip, and Double Deuce Bruce Pearson. They will be starting 25th, 26th, and 27th. 27 cars on this little track. Partner, can that work?
Oh, it's going to be a mess, I can tell you that. So these leaders, they will catch the tail end of that pack extremely quickly, because what's going to happen on these opening laps, these drivers are going to be fighting to get single file. And you can see as they're rolling off on the grid just how long it's taking those cars in the back to get rolling. Well, once they're single file, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
And the leaders are going to be right on their tail. So this is going to be very messy, but it is an opportunity if you're a driver that did not get a great qualifying run to try to pounce on those other drivers as they start to encounter that lap traffic.
You can see the drivers getting on the throttle, then on the brake, on the throttle, on the brake, trying to warm up the tires. JR, I guess they're trying to warm up the rear tires, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get grip all the way around, but you definitely want those rear tires to have some heat in them. Otherwise, you're just going to spin them like crazy up out of the corners early. One thing with these Tour Modifieds, they are extremely loose on cold tires, so these drivers are going to have to tiptoe around for a few laps.
150 laps tonight. Big boy racing. You break it, you bought it. No fast repairs. The perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland brings the pace car in. We are racing. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows. On the low side, it is Eric Teapot Stout, the kid working up top in the number 6. I don't know if he can make it work. He's got a good run. I think he's going to get credited with leading the first lap. Can he finish the pass? We're going to stay up top in the popcorn position, watching the whole thing. It's Stout teammate A.J. Hamill. They continue to race side by side. Stout gets loose. He saves it. He gets loose again. He doesn't save it.
Oh, man. That is a big game changer. He also got collected by these other cars. You see them piling in. That's another disadvantage to having so many cars on track. But during all that, Eric Stout decided to tow, so he is going to be laps down.
We're going to take a couple looks at this. Boy, this was a long one, and one of the looks I want to look at it is on board from Roger Hurley. I'll let you be the driver, decide to go low or high. Watch how many times. This is a tank slapper here, and there we get into it now a little farther back, and Hurley finds him.
Yeah, and it's difficult in these cars. They're hard to stay out of already, but when you've got the initial start, you've got so many cars in front of you, if you do not see that driver until late, there's just no reaction. We talked about the cold tires. This car's not going to react left or right to try to avoid much. If you hit the brakes, the car's just going to slide. So that's one of those unfortunate accidents there, and it collected multiple vehicles.
Jer, were you surprised that the outside line worked as well as it did there from Lemon Lime? He really made Stout work on it.
Yeah, not with who we saw doing it. And Luke Logan, without a doubt, when it comes to the modifieds, is the best driver at running the outside line. I've seen him so many times during the broadcast do that, and I'm kind of surprised that others are not picking up on it. He's so good at it. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the outside lane on these restarts as well.
I think it's because he's 12-year-old. He's lighter, and so there's less weight in the car, so it doesn't drift out. Us heavy guys, we can't do it. That wall sucks us. Okay, let's set the stage here. Well, James Lowe, Teapot's biggest rival, Eric Stout's biggest rival, will be starting outside of Lemon Lime. Luke Logan is going to start inside. The back row has his dad. He's got his dad right behind him. And then Stout's teammate, A.J. Hamill, out there in the back. So the front row's got plenty of talent. Here we go. Let's try this again. Working lap number 7. This time, Allen gets out in front easily. Lowe tucks into second. Big opportunity for Lowe to have a good points now.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge opportunity, and I do want to touch, I talked about the lane choice on the restart, so there is no lane choice in this division, so we're running those rules in the opening soup, so leader does have to start on the inside lane every time, but it didn't matter for Luke Logan. He got going, and he's already pulling away from those 3 behind that we're watching on screen.
Oh, Hamill gets into it with Papa Kenny Allen. They get into it. Last to the scene is the 39. That was Rory Collins. The 37 of Eric Ezra got in there too, but he got on the binders. Oh my goodness. We got away lucky because this happened from 3rd and 4th getting together.
Yeah, and I was watching it on screen, but I still can't tell you exactly what happened. Ultimately, 2 cars coming together, and with these modifieds, once the 2 cars kind of get connected, it is difficult to get off of one another, and that's what led to the contact in the outside wall. You can see Ken Allen going in there. He slides up just a little bit, but I see, Hamill coming down a little bit as well, and then it looks like there's net code in between them, but ultimately it drove them into that outside wall, and that's going to end A.J. Hamill's night for sure with that suspension damage. I'm not sure if anybody else got any race-ending damage out of that. It looked like everybody else kind of got stopped for the most part.
I was looking through the list of drivers we can talk to. I was going to try to talk to Todd Liston because he's up several positions. I don't think he's a villain. I don't see him in there. Unusual. You would have think. Oh, he is way at the bottom, Director. Can you grab Todd Liston and bring him up, and we'll see if we can talk to him? Got him. Todd, it's Soup up here in the booth. You're up 7 positions. I don't know if you passed any on the track, or is this avoiding incidents?
Most of it's been avoiding. We're just going to try to keep our head low because it looks like it's going to be hairy out there. So we're just going to try to keep a good pace and stay ahead of who we can.
Which line do you like, high or low?
On these restarts, it's the outside, but I like to move to the inside to save.
Got it. They're doubling up. Go get them. Todd Liston up 7 positions. He'll be starting on the inside of row 2, right behind Luke Logan Allen. Well, it didn't take long for the kid to lose his dad. Let's try this one more time. Working lap 14 of 150. Allen out in front, Lowe in second. Liston is on the low side, up on top, giving him a little bit of room. That's Lloyd Moore. The front 4 goes single file. The front 5 goes single file. First 2 wide, a little farther back. Brian Bianchi, he gets that sorted out. Todd Collins tucks in behind him. They're all getting single file pretty darn quick. The guy stuck on the top is Negus. Negus is going to try to roll. He's up there in the double nickel. He's working, trying to get around Chris Worrell.
Yeah, and if you're in the position that we're watching Scott Negus do, you have to tiptoe around. We talked about this car when the tires are cold. This car moves around a lot. It slides a lot. If you apply too much brake, too much throttle throughout that corner, the car will come around quickly on you. So he's doing a nice job, and he's actually starting to make progress now. He's getting some heat in the tires.
Partner Eric Stout is 13 laps down and in the pits. Can I cross him off my chart? Can we count him out this one, or can he still come back?
I think he's done now, Sue. One thing is, we don't have any waiver rounds here, so yeah, that would be extremely tough for Stout to do it. We've seen him do some crazy stuff, but I don't think it's going to be tonight.
All right, I'm taking your word. It's scratch, scratch, scratch. Don't have to worry about him anymore. I've done that before, folks, only to find him like battling for the lead before the thing is over. Allen, Lowe, Liston, Moore. We haven't talked about the driver in 5th right now. Jerry Isaacs up 2 spots.
Yeah, he's absolutely been making good use of those restarts and moving forward. Right now, though, you can see most of these drivers, they're single filed out. I think those early cautions, I think they scared a lot of these drivers. They just want to get some laps underway. So you're going to see this train of cars, for the most part, probably for the next 30 or 40 laps. These drivers filling out their cars, seeing what they're doing, and right now just trying to be patient. But what you don't see from home is that when these drivers are doing this, they're not just riding around. They are sizing up their competition. They're trying to see where the weakness is of the drivers around them. So after that 30 or 40 laps, they can start to pounce.
Wouldn't be a VGN broadcast without a little peek in on Brian Neff. He's currently in 13th position. Brian's up 10 spots. He's always fun to watch. He's got Jeff Lemire right in front of him. Lemire is tracing the rum runner, Glenn Jameson. Jameson up 8 spots. All those guys back there in that section, 8, 10, 10. Positions gained.
Yeah, and it'd be hard to find drivers that have more experience than, say, like the Brian Neffs that we were watching back there. They just have so much lap time, or excuse me, so much track time at South Boston Speedway in the various cars, and that equates to experience that will matter late in the race. You're going to be able to make moves and understand when to make these passes. That's very important. This track, it's difficult to pass on. Knowing when to try to make those passes after you save your equipment is really, really important.
Well, I want to drill down a little bit on saving your equipment. We're going 150 laps, but unlike some of the series that we cover, well, let's be specific, the Bootleg Racing League, where you don't get to come in from tires, here you do. JR, if you were in this race, would you be thinking, I want to have saved my stuff so I don't have to make a pit stop? Or do you go all out and say, I'll just come in and get fresh stuff about the halfway mark?
Oh, I think ideally you want to do just that. You'd like to come in at the halfway mark, but you're not going to pit here unless you get a caution. And then even if we do get a caution, it's going to be difficult to take 4 tires. If you're outside of the top 5, I don't think there's any way possible you can take 4 tires without going a lap down. So you've got to keep that in mind. Only take the right sides. The other thing to think about, and we have a caution out on the Speedway here soon.
Well, we were on Brian Neff a little too early. He's always good for a little bit of action. Him and Jeff Lemire. Oh, no, and then Brian Johnson gets in there. Let's stay on this for a while. Neff and Lemire first.
Yeah, we've seen that often, and you know it's It's different driving styles. One driver arcs it in, one driver wants to dive in. You always kind of have to anticipate where that car in front of you is going to be going, and it
Slow
just didn't
down.
work there. Yeah, you see Brian Johnson. I think honestly he did not even realize that there was a car turned sideways on the track at that point.
You hear my partner talk about it all the time. They got those big, what is that, the air filter that's up there blocking your view?
Yeah, air filter, and then also what you can't see. You see the air filter from this view. It's hard to tell a little bit, but you got this A-pillar on the left side, and that blocks your view when you're in the corner. You cannot see the cars that are ahead of you until it's too late.
Look how the director took away the tower so we get a better view. Man, I love working with Ryan Seneker. Man, you get like a little peephole to look at. Like the DoorDash guys knocking on my front door, delivering the Carl's Jr., and you look through, and that's about what you see.
It is, and Soup, if we stay right there, it used to be worse because you can see that there is clear material that's around that roll bar. That used to be actual metal material, so it'd be painted. You would not be able to see what we're seeing right there. So the tire that you're able to see, you wouldn't be able to see that in the past. So they did at least make that clear, but it still doesn't help a whole lot.
God. You know, somebody's going to come up with some type of snorkel design and stick that air filter on top of the hood, and you're going to have an advantage. All right. No interview this caution flag because we had a lot to talk about. We've been out there for 34 laps. 33 of them have been led by Luke Logan Allen. I think that might be a typo. I think he's led them all, to be honest with you. Let's see if he gets a good start here again. We'll try this again. We had a little longer run that time, working lap number 35. Well, first to the line was James Lowe. They're going to give him credit with leading the lap. That's not really fair. He backs up a little bit. Listed in third. Lloyd Moore looking for a place to get down. And Jerry Isaac says, not on my watch. How about behind me?
Yeah, and you can see they're already starting to close in on James Lowe there. So the thing is, we don't know what James is doing. He could be literally saving his tires, trying to run easy, but at this point, he's got to go because Lloyd Moore's on his outside. Todd Liston's trying to get to his inside.
Todd knows Soup would give him no slack if he made it 3 wide, so he backed out of there. Wise man, he didn't want the wrath of a VGN broadcast pounding down on him. Meanwhile, Lowe, something is fishy in Denmark. Lowe seems to be off the pace. Maybe he's thinking of one stop in this thing. Remember a while ago we were looking at Scott Negus, where he was stuck on the outside and struggling? Well, he's found himself in inside position, and he's got the Whirlwind, Chris Worrell, to his outside. I think that's going to be quick work for the double nickel. Watch Negus now as he's going to fend off Worrell. He's not going to let Worrell in there. This is a good battle here. Meanwhile, still up on top, a little higher up, Jerry Isaacs now out on the outside with Liston underneath him. Liston's a kind driver. He's very polite, but he's not going to be a pushover here.
Now, and this track is very odd. We haven't talked about it a whole lot. Because of that, it promotes the side-by-side racing. So you'll see, as Todd is kind of looking toward his inside, as they go through 1 and 2, the 51 is going to have the advantage of Jerry Isaacs. He was able to get that lead, but if they were still side-by-side through turns 3 and 4, then that advantage would have gone to the inside cars. There's just more grip down there. So it promotes side-by-side racing when you get 2 equal drivers at that given moment in the run. And it makes it very exciting, but like I talked about, it makes it very easy for contact. And if there's contact, we've already seen what that creates tonight, big pileups.
One of the things I've learned from working with you is sometimes the fastest line alone might be the inside line, but when you're side by side, the fastest line may not always be the fastest line. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when these guys are side by side, they are very competitive right now.
Absolutely, and that's going to become more so as we get into this run, as the tires wear a little bit, as the handling changes on these vehicles. That outside lane will be the preferred choice, and there may even be a point in this race where outright the outside lane will be faster, just single file. So these drivers have to be thinking about that. They have to be willing to move around. The tire models are becoming more and more realistic in iRacing, and that's the things you have to think about in a 150-lap race. What is changing with my car, and what's also changing with the track, and what do I need to do to kind of counteract that? Fascinating.
What will really be fun if we see guys coming in for tire stop halfway through and other guys do not. This will be good. Luke Logan out in front. Lloyd Moore now has moved up into second, up 6 spots from where he started. And he's looking on the back of Luke Logan Allen. This is going to matter only possibly to me, but I'm going to mention this. Maybe JR will understand this as well. Lloyd Moore is out there racing car number 26. It is hard for me. We've done so many races with the car number 26 being another Moore, Donnie. So funny that they're both in the same number.
Yeah, it's difficult for me. I raced so long at BRL with Donnie Moore driving a 26 car, and I can tell you he was one of the fiercest competitors out there, and I learned a lot from him. So it's difficult for me watching on screen, but that is definitely Lloyd Moore tonight in that 26 car.
All right, it is against my religion to talk about drivers working their way from the field who did not qualify, but I will do it grudgingly. Alan Wanamaker in car number 9. Of course he's in car number 9, Soup. Up 13 spots. Racing in 12th right now. Got a long way to go to get up to the run runner. Glenn Jameson in 11th. Knocking on the top 10. Scott Negus is there.
Yeah, and if I'm those guys like Glenn Jameson, Alan Wanamaker, you know, they're kind of running in their own area. They've got a gap to the car in front. They've also got a gap to the car behind. That's allowing them to run the pace that they want to run. They don't have to worry about being challenged by someone or getting offline. They're able to run exactly as fast as they want to right now. So that's great for trying to conserve your tires. Always see some contact there from Torrance Child, and that created a stack up. 77 is going to make some contact, but everybody keeps it clean.
That was a bit scary. Childs, Esri involved in that one, getting up in the wall. I think that was Roger Hurley. They keep it all going straight. Well, we started with 27. 20 are still on the lead lap. The Lipper, Chris Hayslip, last car on the lead lap in 20th.
I love this view that we're riding on here, Soup, with Brian Bianchi, because what we're seeing up ahead, I see that rear end really yawing out from Todd Liston up there. Watch him as he goes through the corner, how much that rear end will step out. He's starting to ease it in a little bit more, but it stepped out right there. So these cars, they are still sliding around, particularly through the center of the corner. And, I mean, Todd's making it work, but you can see even up ahead at Jerry Isaacs, his car's also doing that. So these cars are not easy to drive right now. And that's probably leading a lot to the single file racing that we're seeing, because this is kind of the time period where you start to try to make passes on your competitors. You've learned what they're doing wrong that you may be able to pounce on, and we're just not really seeing it right now.
Tip of the hat to Brian Johnson. Racing in 22nd position, does a good job of getting high, letting everybody go underneath him. Boy, I tell you, that's something. That's an uncomfortable feeling. You have to remember, the guys who are being lapped a lot of the time are the guys that are struggling talent-wise as well. And it is unsettling for us who are talent challenged. When you put us up there, we're off pace, you up in the marbles. Nice job, Brian.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, because I'll point out this fact. It's hard enough, you know, trying to leave room for those cars that are faster, but you're also having to go offline. You're up in the marbles, and the marbles here are terrible. So keeping it off the wall like he's doing a fantastic job of not overdriving that car. If you carry too much speed, you will not be able to turn that car in the marbles up top.
Well, as is often the nature of the beast, once you get a few of those cautions out of the way, I know the saying that they breed cautions, but we've had our litter of cautions right now. And right now, mom and dad cautions are not, well, they're behaving themselves. And we got ourselves a nice green flag run.
Yeah, and this track's always been a little bit odd in that way. You know, it seems like we always have a long green flag run. We usually have a batch of cautions early, or we have a batch of cautions late. But we tend to get a long green flag run, and it's odd because this is a track, like I talked about, that's hard to pass on. and people are very aggressive at. Not to mention the cars don't always handle that great. So it's a difficult track, but we tend to have long runs.
When I know your wife's name and she watches the broadcast, you're going to get a little screen time. Let's check in on car number 36, Jeffrey Harden. He just made his way around Terrence Childs. He's closing in on Wanamaker and Hurley. Very good driver, and probably would win the award for driver in the prettiest paint schemes consistently is Jeffrey Harden.
And we see up here, so another driver that's got a lot of experience around this track. We've seen him lead a lot of laps in different series in the modified here. Is Todd Liston right there, but right now Brian Bianchi is trying to work him over. You see Brian's just able to keep his car a little bit lower in the corner, and that will pay off. It may take him several laps, but that will pay off in getting a run up out of the corners, especially going into turn 1 and 2. And you see Todd's having to work a little bit hard. His car's starting to slide around more than it was earlier when we were riding on board with Brian. So that's going to open up an advantage, and Brian is aware of that. He's not in any hurry to make a pass. He's going to keep working Todd over until that hole opens up.
Okay, we're at the halfway point now. Let's go up to the leaders. He's beginning to work through some of these lapped cars, going around Johnson again. Rory Collins up ahead. So, the question that's always asked is, when do you pit if you're the leader? I'm going to flip it around on my partner. When do you not pit if you're, say, Harden or Todd Cousins back in 11th, 12th, 13th? These guys at the back of the lead lap, Terrence Childs. If a caution flag comes out, which it does right now.
Just did. Yeah, well, I don't pit if I'm those guys and I feel like I have decent speed, which you can tell from your relative. I'm not going to pit if those leaders decide to come in, and there's the contact that we saw. Didn't really expect that, but Brian was trying to get underneath Todd through 3 and 4. Slight contact sent him down into the tire barrier, and that's going to end his night soup. He's got left front suspension damage, and you can see it was the slightest contact, but Brian was able to carry more speed through the center of the corner. He was trying to get that run on exit. Unfortunately, contact was made, and it sent him into the barrier.
I think it would have been fine if it wasn't for he just happened to be at that part of the track where the pit wall entrance is.
Yeah, very unlucky in that aspect. That was probably the worst place he could have hit.
All right. Everybody came down pit road except for the kid. Am I looking at this right? Did Luke Logan stay out, or did he come? He stayed. Oh.
Yeah, Luke Logan's definitely out. I think everybody, I think that's correct. Everybody else came in, so this is going to be a tough one. So we didn't talk about it a whole lot, but this is the problem with being the leader. You think that's the best position to be in, but when you get into one of these tough decision points on do I take tires or do I not take tires, if you stay out, the rest of the field can say, I'm going to do something different because I've not been able to beat you yet. So this may be the rest of the field's best opportunity to go after Luke Logan.
Director, if the lights stay on the pace car and we go around again, let's see if we can call up the kid and talk to him. No, they're going to go out. We don't want to bother him. I was going to give him good news and bad news. The good news is he's led every lap. The bad news is, well, he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And we're getting ready to go green, but it looks like now we only have 14 cars on the lead lap after all that.
Well, Mama Allen, I hope you're watching, because you got your husband and your son out on the front row. I thought Kenny had some issues early on. I thought he was done, but Papa's back. And we're going to go around one more time to get this all sorted out. Scott Negus has been good. He's on the outside. I don't think he minds it out there. Todd Liston just avoided his race ending after a nice save. Pace car is in. Pace car is out.
for whatever reason, looks like they decided to extend it. The admins extended the caution by one more lap, so that was a late call, but that's what we've got here.
That's perfectly mesmerizing. Josie Kirkland wants a little screen time. Honey, get that truck in there. Let's go racing. All right. Father and son. 12 years ago, Dad was outside the waiting room while Mom was giving labor saying, someday I'm going to be racing side by side with that baby. Well, that was short-lived. New leader. Papa Kenny Allen. Baby boy lemon lime right behind him. Oh, my goodness. The hounds are after the hare, and pretty soon the ship is going to be cooking up the Hassenpfeffer. We got another caution flag.
Oh, and we see those cars that were involved in it. Brian Neff, at least one on the back end, trying to get rolling again.
It is the 28 that got it. Robert, let's go Garasco. Telling him let's go was Todd Cousins. Garasco was not going fast enough. And then for good measure, if there's cars out there to hit, Brian Neff will find them. Sorry, Brian, we love you. There comes Neff.
Yeah, that's kind of a familiar sight. I'm not sure what was going on with the 28 there because Todd Cousins, he kind of looked like he was running a normal line. I didn't see him doing anything crazy, and maybe a little bit. I think the 28 probably underdrove the entry of the corner. 33 was trying to dive in there because of the cars looking around him to potentially make a pass. So there's a little bit on both there.
All right, not sure how long the caution flag is going to be this time. It was considerably long. Can we dial up Luke now? Are we able to find him? Or my director's going to look for him? Luke, it's Soup up here in the booth. I got one quick question for you. What the hell are you doing out there?
What was that?
What are you doing? You got no tires. Everybody's got tires but you. Well, you have tires, but they're really old.
I was thinking my tires were okay, and I was thinking everything was okay, and I was like, let me just stay out and see how this goes, and no one else pitted.
All right, you listen to Uncle Soup now. Next time there's a caution flag, you come in at you take out the trash and you get new tires, okay?
All right.
All right, go get them. These kids these days, they know everything.
The only good thing he's got going for him is he's had multiple cautions here, so that's going to allow his tires to cool down a lot more than they did during that last one. So he'll have a little more grip this time than he had on that last restart, but he's still going to be tough for those other drivers with new tires.
Oh, God bless him. What a wonderful, wonderful human being is Kid Lemon Lime. All right, well, this time he's on the outside of his dad. Let's see if his dad cuts him some slack. They could team up. I think he does. Nice job, Dad. New leader, Luke Logan Allen. Dad's going to go back there. Let the 49 play a little defense.
Yeah, Luke found some grip somewhere because he's got speed right now. We'll have to see how long it lasts. Typically, these tires, they seem to be equalized when they're cold. As he gets some heat in those tires, I would expect to see his dad close in and potentially make that pass along with Todd Liston there behind. The fresh rubber just pays off after 5 to 10 laps of heat in them.
The director won't do it, but I want to pull Luke back in the booth and tell him to stay out there. Don't listen to Uncle Soup. He knows best. These kids are so smart these days. All right. Kenny Allen, Todd Liston, the guy who's going to win this, the double nickel, Scott Negus. If they'll let you put down a bet once you cross halfway, put it on the 55. He's good. Eric Esri back in 5th.
Yeah, and on our screen here, I want to point out you see James Lowe right ahead of this. He was one of the leaders when we made those pit stops. He did something a little bit different, lost some time on pit road. He's back here running in 7th position, and you can see all of the battling that's happened around him. Tonight's the night that he could really make up a lot of points on Eric Stout, but he absolutely cannot get involved in any type of accident.
Who's last on the list right now in finishing order? Eric Stout.
Yeah, not something that we're used to on any of the broadcast series.
Let's give some love to car number 63, Glenn Jameson. Don't know how long he's been there. We talked about James Lowe. Lowe would like that spot. Jameson up 13 positions from where he started, racing in 6th, having a nice run. Oh, very loose is Lowe's teammate. That is Chris Worrell right behind him.
Yeah, and that's something, we were monitored through the long run. I kind of expected the cars to get a little tighter. Oh, and it's going to be tighter as they're coming up on Brian Johnson. But, yeah, James smartly got back in line before it was too late. But, yeah, we saw the cars kind of getting free throughout that last run. This run, they're already on cold tires. They're dealing with that. But I expect that condition to continue to get worse. And there's another caution out here.
This one is... Oh, it's so sad. This is Jeff Lemire was doing some gymnastics out on the back straightaway, looping it around. And then the chief, former police chief of Plain City, Ohio. Oh, it's Tom Hilbert, not the chief. It's baby brother.
Oh, and you see Hayes going spinning toward the inside, too. He's getting major damage just trying to avoid it as well.
Okay. I'm glad to see that Luke is not listening to me, as he's going to stay out.
Yeah, he may be at a slight disadvantage on this restart. He's going to have to be on that inside lane, but I may start calling him the track sweeper. He's doing a very good job of picking up all those black marbles you see on the screen down there. That means lack of grip if you get on that while you're racing, and he's trying to pick all that up and get rid of it.
Director, is Glenn Jameson available? Can you find him, or we have time if you can get him quickly? Glenn, it's Soup up in the booth. Rum Runner, you having a good run. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right tonight, Soup, I think. It's a little tough out here. It's still early yet. I was just looking at the lap count. We got a long way to go, so I don't want to get too confident yet. It ends up bad way sometimes. So
You got a big name behind you there with James Lowe. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, man. I know he's breathing down my back, something fierce. So thank you, guys. Take care.
All right. Okay, so this time he's on the inside line. We're talking about Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan. That's a disadvantage here?
It's going to be a disadvantage when you're not on equal tires. It's paid off for our leaders so far in this race, but when you're on older tires, you're just not able to get going. And when that outside car does that right there, they're already ahead of you in 1 and 2. You just cannot carry the momentum because you can't swing out toward the wall.
Papa was a rolling stone on the top side there as he rolled himself right around his baby boy. Allen is leading, Allen in second. Scott Negas on the outside. He doesn't hate it out there. Watch the 55 pin listing down low. Watch the momentum. I would not be surprised if Negas doesn't get the best of this battle.
He's inching forward. He's almost there. He says they go through 3 and 4. Todd's able to get that advantage. The inside's a lot better there. The turn's a little more equal, but we get down here to turns 1 and 2, and that advantage goes to the top side on the exit of 2. You're just able to get a straighter run and carry that momentum down the backstretch.
Strangely enough, it's strange to see cars that are side by side run down cars that are nose to tail in front of them, but that second pack is coming. Negas now almost there. He's not quite clear. Now he gets a good run off of 4. Does he cut down? Negas will wait till he knows he's there. Lister is going to make him work little by little. The 87 losing ground, but he fights back. They now begin both to lose ground on the front. 2 Allens in front. Negas really good out of 4. I think Liston might be a little better out of 2. That doesn't make sense to me. It seems like the track is equal. Are these corners different, JR?
Oh, they're different. They drive completely different. Turns 3 and 4 feels a little bit flatter. The bottom's able to roll really well. You get over to turns 1 and 2, and it feels like turn 2 closes up on you. It's very easy to get into that outside wall when you're going from the bottom to the top. But if you're running that top side, you're able to get straightened out earlier and get that throttle applied. It's an advantage out there.
Indeed, and you know what? You want success? Get interviewed. Glenn Jameson now up to 5th. The Whirlwind, Chris Whirl working around top. Esray, what happened to James Lowe? Lowe is way down in 10th.
Yeah, and, you know, we kind of saw it in the earlier run of this race. James started to fall back a little bit. It seems like he struggles a little bit on the colder tires. As they get a long run, if we're able to continue this, he'll start to move forward a little bit. But struggling here, and we see Bruce Pearson and Hazlett making some contact up off of 2.
That's sorted out. There's still, it looks like it's sorted out, but it is not.
It kind of stacked them up a little bit there behind. I think Brian F. was starting to get a little bit anxious. But we talked about James Lowe. He's starting to try to make progress forward now. He's starting to work that high line. And if Jerry doesn't, you know, fend that off, that's going to be a pass potentially.
You know, it's hard to believe that you can be happy with the 10th place finish. But right now, if Lowe was still to come home in 10th, he'd be crushing his biggest rival of Eric Teapot Stout, who's dead last and not coming back.
And it makes it difficult when you know that your biggest competition's already out. It makes it difficult to go up there and do the things you normally do and be fast, because to be fast, you've got to be on the edge. You've got to take some risk. That's not what he wants to do right now. He's trying to get points tonight to have that advantage, but I think we're starting to see it change a little bit. He's starting to get some momentum back on his side. He's already made that pass from Jerry Isaacs, and now he's going to try to work over Lloyd Moore.
All right, my partner is a new father again. Can never congratulate you enough on that. You had yourself a baby girl. What is that, 2 or 3? How many you got of those girls now?
That's 2. I got a 4-year-old and then a newborn, so it's a little wild here.
All right.
I'm definitely outnumbered.
Well, let me ask you this as we look on that 2-wide battle before. 12 years from now, when you're racing your children and they're side by they're behind you, and you got yourself 27 laps to go to the end, you gonna let them by, or you gonna make them? They may cry if you beat them.
That's tough, Soup. I don't even want to think about that. That's a tough decision.
What are your daughters' names?
My 4-year-old is Leah, and the newborn is Emma. So yeah, it's a handful, but definitely glad to have family support.
Emma, that's a good name to put on a race car because it's spelled the same whether she's racing forward or backwards. Speaking of the driver in 4th right now, that's Todd Liston. Look at this battle a little farther back. My goodness, they get that, I think, done. And we got a caution. Seeing, is this Collins involved in this one? A little bit of help? Cousins, yeah, a little bit of help from Childs. We were speaking of JR's children, and there's Childs getting into it.
Yeah, it's definitely that time of race where if you have anything on your competition, you're trying to make that pass, and that means close encounters with the competitors out there, and eventually you're going to have some contact. I would like to say that's over with, but you know, we've got 22 laps left to go. I think it could get worse here soon.
It'll be boogie time when we go green. Is Papa Kenny Allen available? Can we talk to him? My director's going to scroll through and let us know if that's available. He is our race leader right now. Ken, it's Soup. Can you talk to me?
Yeah, I got you, Soup.
All right, I got my child psychology book right here in front of me as I'm doing the broadcast. I'm going through chapter 3. It talks about building confidence in your children. Are you going to let the kid win, or are you going to, it seems, what's the strategy here?
I totally want to win, but I wish I was on that outside for this restart. But I'll tell you this much. I know how Bobby Allison felt watching Davey race. It's a proud moment.
And he's out there doing it on old tires, man. Go get him.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny, good luck.
Thanks.
The two out there, it is a fun dynamic, and I apologize if I play it up a little bit too much, but it is, I think the word is charming, those two guys out there racing. Okay, Well, JR, I guess Ken could sit in the booth with me because he says the same thing you just did. That outside line's the place to be on the restart.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, Luke knows that. He's going to try to get a big run here. We'll see how he does. But Ken got a great jump there.
Working our way around. You know, I'm feeling it this time. I think we're going to hear it this time. If you're thinking about winning, get the mirror ball spinning, grip the groove, make your move. You know who's got his dancing shoes? It's Kid Living Live. He's doing all the new fangled steps. He's out in front. He knows it's time to boogie. And now Dad is stuck in a battle with Todd Liston. The 55 continues to be the car that's going to win this thing. But the laps are ticking away.
Yeah, and I know Ken Allen was not enjoying that, but Luke was certainly, because that allowed him to build a big gap behind. He's got almost a half second, but there's a car. We can see it at the top of the screen there.
It is more involved in it. And the rum runner, Glenn Jameson, he keeps the car pointing straight. I've seen worse. I've seen worse that do not bring out the yellow.
I've got to say, out of all the contact that occurred there, that was the best outcome. That could have happened. Both drivers got away without any damage that was going to end their night.
In front of a swarm of hornets behind them. Well, when it's all said and done, they don't lose too many spots. James Lowe, as happens to James Lowe, he just manages to just avoid all the trouble. And he might have been ahead of him when it happened, I think. Well, you got Whirl and Lowe now, the two teammates sitting 5th and 6th. But good news, bad news for the Allens. One of you's on the inside, one of you's on the outside.
Yeah, and that right there is why Ken fought so hard with Todd Liston, because he knew if there was one more caution, he would have that outside lane on the restart. And we've seen it work so much here tonight late in the race. So he's counting to get that lead back here.
We've seen it work from 2nd. Partner, can it work from 4th? Does Negus outside of row 2 have the advantage on Liston?
It all depends on how well that, Ken Allen in this instance, the 2nd place car, gets going. If Ken gets a good start and is side by side with the leader, then absolutely Scott can have the advantage against Liston in that 2nd row. But if the inside row gets going really well, that's going to make it tough for Scott to try to get that run through turn 2.
Mama Allen in the hallway right now saying, "Ready, boys?" And she yells, "Go!" And both Allens go together. The top side is working. Allen on the inside, Allen on the outside. Listen, watching Allen squared. Negus did not get around Liston. He has to drop into 4th. Watch out, James Lowe is up top. And while that's going on, oh my goodness. Can you feel the citrus? Kid Lemon Lime holding on to it.
Oh, there's a caution.
He worked so hard to get it, now he's got to do it all again. Oh, it is. My goodness, this was more than a kiss for Cousins as he ends up upside down. And if you're going to get a kiss, how about from the lipper? And then a little bit of a touch, and Cousin goes over. Well, they've already boogied. This is where I lean on my partner because he always knows the rules to these things. It is 2009. I think they had the green-white checker in 2009. Do we have them in this series, JR? Do you know?
I'm not seeing it anywhere in the format. I tried to
Okay.
look back through some notes. The race absolutely can end under a caution, but I'm not seeing anything about green-white checkers. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think when the allotted time is over, number of laps is over, we're done.
Remember, this is the rules for the Whelen Modified Series in 2009. You know, you would think that these guys like this would I don't want to just downplay, but I mean, money is an issue, and green light checkers is probably not something they would want to do. Probably tear up more equipment. So I don't think we have them. Well, the kid was able to hold his dad off the first time. That probably burned up a little tires, heated them up a little bit. He's got to do it again. He's trying to cool them down. If we get an in-car camera, you can see his lips right now just blowing on the tires, trying to get any temperature out of them as possible. Josie Kirkland, honey, bring that truck in. Let's go racing. She does. Dad with a jump. The kid takes it in deep. Papa up top. Who else would be in the popcorn position but James Lowe? The kid has got in front of Dad. The laps are running down. He's the only driver to go the distance on one set of tires. He's got 12 more corners to finish before he can get this done. We're talking about Kid Lemon Line, Luke Logan Allen. Papa Kenny behind him. James Lowe on the top side. Negus has dropped out of the mix. Listen, down low, fighting off low. But all the eyes, the entire crowd, standing on not 1, but 2 feet to yell and cheer. Both hands raised in the air, waving them back and forth. White flag for Kid Lemon Lime. 2 corners between him and an improbable, an impossible, an unthinkable win. He goes the distance without making a pit stop. Your winner, round 2, Luke Logan Allen. Papa Kenny Allen gets second. James Lowe with a huge point night gets third. Oh my goodness. That is some good racing. The racing, the broadcast is not. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to all the Allens. Maybe Mom will stop in for an interview, including James Lowe. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and the Virtual Grip Network's second round coverage of the YesterYear King of the Modifieds. That's right, where past meets present. It's the YesterYear Modified Series Round 2. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. Well, we raced 150 laps. He led 114 of them. And he never came in for tires. We're talking about Luke Logan Allen, the only driver to do that. Oh, wisdom from such a young man as he gets his first win of the season. His dad finishes second right behind him. James Lowe, who came into this race second in the points behind Eric Teapot Stout. Stout was dead last. Lowe gets a third. Oh, that's not shaking things up. That's turning things head over heels. The Whirlwind, Chris Whirl, will finish third. Todd Liston raced up front the whole time. Will have to settle for fifth. The back half of your top 10, well, it didn't materialize like I thought for Scott Negus. He'll have to settle for sixth. Lloyd Moore was involved in a couple incidents, some of them with Glenn Jameson. They come home 7th and 8th. The Lipper, how about that? A quiet top 10 for him. Nice job. And another guy that we know so well, Double Deuce Bruce Pearson in 10th. Partner?
Coming home in 11th place tonight, we got Jeffrey Harden. We saw him on screen a little bit. Jerry Isaacs, he'll come home in 12th after running up front for much of the race. Roger Hurley, caught up in a couple of those accidents, will come home in 13th place. Alan Wanamaker in that 9-ball car, he'll come home in 14th. Torrance Childs, we saw him involved in an accident late in the race. He was able to get back to 15th position, and Brian Neff is the last car on the lead lap tonight. He'll finish in 16th. Eric Esserwary will come home in 17th. First car 1 lap down. Brian Johnson doing a nice job trying to stay out of the way tonight. He'll come home in 18th place. Todd Cousins, we saw him go up over on his side into the wall late. 14 laps down tonight, will come home in 19th. And Rory Collins, he'll come home in 20th.
Brian Johnson out there soldiering around. You know, you finished ahead of Eric Stout, Chris Davis, A.J. Hamill. I'm reading these from the back. All these guys multiple laps down. Robert Garasco finished in 21st and 24th position. Just ahead of him was Brian Bianchi. There's another big name he finished ahead of. Tommy Hilbert, double duck spot. And then in 21st, it was Jeff Lemire. He was 54 laps down. That's the entire field for you. With that said, let's go ahead and talk to our race winner. It is Luke Logan Allen. Let me know when we got him. We got him. Luke, it's Soup up here in the booth. Hey, kid, I know you're in school, but before you went to school, did you ever read the book Green Eggs and Ham? You know Green Eggs and Ham?
Yes, I have.
Okay, in that book, Sam I Am is the older guy trying to tell the kid what to do. And you know what? The kid doesn't listen to the older guy. Says, I'm going to do this swing my way. And that's what you did tonight. You did the thing your way. Nice job.
Hey, thanks.
Outside, inside line on those restarts. We talked to your dad. He said the outside line was the way to go, but you made the inside line work there at the end.
It is really tight on entry on the inside line, so I was trying to back it up as much as I can and see if I could get a drive off.
All right, well, you have been hot of late. You know what? Since Dad got that new racing rig, both of you guys have really improved. You guys are very competitive. Well done. Congratulations, kid.
Thanks, Soup, and I want to give a thanks to some people.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks to Fish for bringing us a car out here, and thanks to my dad for giving us this opportunity.
Want to thank your wife?
And thanks to my mom.
Thanks to your mom. Okay. Drivers always thanks their wives. He thanks his mom. Well done, buddy. Congratulations. Your winner tonight, Luke Logan Allen. All right. Since we're in the Allen mode, let's let my partner talk to Papa.
Absolutely. Ken Allen, hey man, congratulations on the second place run. I know last week didn't go the way you wanted to, so this is some big momentum on the point side, but I want to take you back to that last couple of restarts, especially the last one. You had to restart on the outside line, which seemed to be preferred, but you had some heat cycles in that tire. Did that play into any of that not working the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, I had some damage from that wreck earlier in the race, and my right front was just getting really hot and worn out. And I couldn't drive off turn 2 on that last restart to get position on Luke, and you know, he was ripping the bottom even on them old tires, cooling them down. And the best driver won tonight. That's all I can say.
Good deal. Hey, I want to take you back a little further in the race, because this is a decision that Luke went a different way than what you did. He was leading the race. He decided to stay out. Everybody pitted. Was there a thought in your mind that maybe staying out was the way to go? I know you came in and got tires. It didn't work out this time. You spoke about some of that damage, but do you think taking tires was the way that it should have been, or do you think Luke did a fantastic job with what he did?
If I had not had the damage on the car, I would have stayed out. But I could feel I was starting to get tight wearing that right front out. So I thought my best shot for me was to put those 2 tires on and get that track, or be out there on fresh tires against his old tires if I was going to have a chance.
Absolutely. You got to do something a little bit different. I'll get you out of here on this one, man. Next week, you guys are going to Thompson. Very tough racetrack. 150 laps there. What are your thoughts rolling in?
I love racing Thompson in the tour mod. I kind of gave one away there last year, and looking forward to going back and trying to get some personal vengeance for myself.
All right. Well, hey, maybe next week we'll get you up here in the booth, and you'll be the first one that Soup talks to.
Right. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. That was Ken Allen. He's our second place finisher here tonight. Soup, who you got?
I got James Lowe. James, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Soup.
All right, James, before we get started, I don't know what the situation is. You don't have any parents or children that want to go sim racing, do you? Because I think we need to put a stop on this father-son thing. It's tough.
Yeah, they made the right call tonight, and during the pit stop, I would have been all right. I would have came out third, but for some reason I had a brain dead moment and decided to make a trek down the backstretch, pitch 2. So that put me out in like 7th or 8th or wherever I started, which that's not totally on me. And then got roughed up a couple times, and then decided just to send it. And it was probably a pretty good show, because I think I went from 10th to 3rd in like 8 laps or something. And
around some guys that were really good too, so it was fun to watch you come up.
Yeah, you wish you didn't make stupid mistakes, but we did, so gotta just own up to it, and we got a 3rd place finish, so that's pretty good with the points. I think Luke's gonna be the points leader running out of here, but yeah, overall not too bad.
Yeah, coming into this race, the attention was on Stout, who really crushes over there in the Red Light Racing League, and you have been so dominant in the Bootleg Racing League. It was fun to see you guys race together. I think you may have called it. We maybe need to turn our attention a little younger there. There seems to be a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to go through trials and tribulations throughout this year, so it's just how you manage those, and that'll be your eventual champion, whoever that should be. But yeah, you just got to deal with whatever comes.
All right, well, we'll see you on the next broadcast, whatever series it may be in. Congratulations on the 3rd place.
Appreciate it.
There you have it, James Lowe. And on a personal note, when I brought up Green Eggs and Ham, I'd just like to say, you think about Sam I Am as a drug dealer, and that book takes on a whole different concept. With that said, let's look at the races that are coming up. Oh, look, they're all stacked up vertically there, right on top of each other. We like that. It's easier for us to read. All those broadcasts, future past ones, are all a production of the Virtual Grip Network. Are there any road courses in that one? There were not. On behalf of all the little faces you see there on the clock, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If not, we'll try to do better next time. Until then, have fun storming the castle.